Hey there, my name is Alex, I am the Silver Mont, and in this video we're going to talk about Zhongli in Genshin Impact. And for the rest of this video I'm going to refer to him as Zhongli, because that way neither of us need to suffer my horrible pronunciation. There will also be some story spoilers for Genshin up to the end of the Liu story arc, just as a fair warning. That out of the way, Zhongli, the CEO of GEO, the CEO of GEO, his banner just started a few days ago and we've had the chance to get him if we were lucky or saved a lot of Primo Gems. I did because I liked the look of his character. But now he's been released. He's a little underwhelming, and it's a combination of things, I suppose. First up, he's a GEO user. GEO is lackluster at times compared to other elements. Now, I'm not saying it's terrible, it's unusable. I've seen some Ningguangs do some crazy damage, but yes, compared to other elements, it's a bit underwhelming at times. Then we have his kit, which frankly isn't that strong, especially when you compare it to other 5-star characters. His ability can be pressed to summon a Geo Pillar. This then resonates with other Geo structures in the vicinity, pulsing out a little damage and generating seemingly random amounts of energy, whereas if you hold it, you get a special Jade Shield and break everything nearby. Great for mining if nothing else. Then his Elemental Burst summons a Geo Comet from the heavens to petrify everything nearby, probably his best ability, and you'd probably want to build him around that. So all Elemental Burst recharge and damage, Geo damage in particular. As for his auto attacks, he seems like he's marginally better than the Gooba generating Bell Girl. Now I'm not saying he's trash or unplayable or anything like that. I'm keeping him in my main team because I like him as a character and he can do some work. To put it simply, however, he's too weak, especially if you look at it from a story perspective. Considering Venti's one of the youngest gods, and remarks that he's not very good at fighting, it's a little unusual to then note that Venti is one of the single best characters in the whole game, along with Diluc. Whereas Zhongli is the oldest of the Archons, one of, if not the most powerful, and yet he's generally ranked as the worst 5-star currently. Of course, these can change as people discover things and whatnot. I mean, just look at Bennett. But it's very hard to find what Zhongli is good at, or excels at. Some players in China are frustrated as well, as they feel the effective representative of the Chinese-themed nation in a Chinese-made game should not be the weakest 5-star. That's a reasonable stance to have, I think. Having seen some comments on my videos from Chinese people, and as a quick aside, I noticed that one of my Genshin videos was re-uploaded onto a site that's like Chinese YouTube, Bilibili or something, wherein most of the comments, the ones that aren't making fun of my pronunciation, rightfully so, they are happy that some Chinese culture and entertainment is getting some worldwide recognition. Then Zhongli comes out and he's this weak. It's led to some memes and even jokes, such as people referring to him as the sick man of Liu, which is a reference to how in the past, some Western people would refer to East Asians as like sick men of the East or something like that. If you've seen the film Fearless with Jet Li, they touch on that whole topic a lot in that film. It's also a very good film, I think. Now obviously, I'm not Chinese, so I have no opinion on that particular front, but I thought it was worth noting. I don't know the exact player base of Genshin, I don't know if it's like 90% Chinese people and the rest, of the world, but I do know that you want to keep your player base happy, wherever they are, whoever they are. Releasing 5-star characters that are hotly anticipated, letting people enjoy their new strength seems like a no-brainer. Zhongli was trending on Twitter, and his trailer currently has almost 3 million views in less than a week, so yeah, he's weaker than he should be from a story perspective, and I think just about everyone would be happy if they increased his strength, either directly or by making Geo a lot better. Power creep is a very real danger in games like this, so I'm not saying he should be twice as good as Diluc or whatever. Perhaps part of the problem is that Diluc and Venti are effectively the first 5-stars in the game. I know Jean and Co were in 2 at launch, but those two are so insanely powerful that when new 5-stars are released, they are inevitably compared to them. In Diluc's case, it's the combination of best element, best weapon type, and amazing abilities. But for Zhongli, There's no shortage of changes you could make to him to increase his power and make him feel like the Archon he is. People have remarked that his first and last constellations should be part of his base kit. I could see that being a good start, giving him new constellations instead of them. I'd also suggest making his Jade Shield ability, when activated, shatter petrified enemies, doing high damage to them. Kinda like how Melt works, Melt being pretty much the best elemental reaction in the game. But who knows? I don't really mind how he's improved, but I do think it's a good idea for him to be improved. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And if you agree, then certainly do tell the developers that as well. With an ongoing game like this, community feedback is extremely important. The developers have shown a willingness to listen and act on feedback so far. As for me, I'm back to saving my Primo Gems for, Xiao, whenever he comes out, because he's probably the nearest I'll get to a Dragoon in Genshin. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and take care. Ciao.